Hello, my name is Hanah Narine. I am in Mr. West's advanced drafting class, and I will be showing you my first semester projects. For both my projects this year, I used a software called Revit, and Revit is a building information modeling software used to design buildings, structures, and components. The first project I did this semester involved learning the software Revit because I had no idea how to work it. And I followed a tutorial on building a house, and this helped me understand how to use Revit and how to build a house from start to finish. The first step to building my house was doing the interior walls and the exterior walls. Next, I added the foundation with the footing. I then added all the windows and all the doors. And these were probably the easiest for me. From here, it kind of got a little difficult, because then I had to do the flooring, which I did different flooring. This pink right here would be the carpet. This gray right here would be hardwood, and this white spot right here would be the stairs to my basement. And I also had to add the garage flooring. Next was doing the front and back porches. The front porch included the foundation, the columns, the header, and the railings. And the back porch also included the foundation, but this time I added railings with stairs. I then worked on my basement, where I added structural columns, beams with beam pockets, and I also had to add stairs with railings to my basement. The final part to building my house was to do the roof. I did a gable roof with fascia board, gutters, and soffit, and the roof vents. I also had to add walls right underneath my roof, and this was probably the most difficult part for me because I had to just keep editing my roof, and it was just very difficult for me. I then moved into the interior part of my house. I started in the kitchen by adding upper and lower cabinets with the countertops. I also added appliances like the sink, the fridge, and the stove. Next was the bathroom, where I added a sink, a toilet, a bathtub, and some other mirrors and towel bars. This is probably my favorite part because I really do like designing interior houses. And then I added also ceiling lights, and I added a vaulted ceiling. I also did print out 3 sheets for this. I did the floor plan, which shows the top view of all my rooms, the elevation showing the external design and detailing of my house, and the section view showing the internal details of my house. Also did some renderings, and I did the kitchen, the living room, and the laundry room. I did this rendering of the outside of my house. As you can see, I was able to add a landscape all around my house when I was done. Overall, I really enjoyed this project. I learned how to use Revit and everything that goes into building a house, and I can use this information for any other projects that I have. And one thing I want to try next time when I'm following a tutorial is maybe try to add some of my own stuff to it, so I can try to learn more about what I'm doing. The other project I did this semester was a kit, and the kit gave me this floor plan and some materials I could use for the 3D model of the house. And I chose this project because I really liked using Revit and making a floor plan, but I wanted to do something beyond that. The first part of this project was to remake the floor plan in Revit, and this taught me how to do everything that I learned in my last project, but just on my own now. As you see, I did the interior and exterior walls, the windows, the doors, just like my last project. I found it pretty easy. I remembered everything from my last project and was really able to apply it. Some stuff that I did not know how to do was these angled counters. That wasn't too hard because luckily the material was already in Revit, and I was able to just place it and easily figure it out. This chimney, though, that was more difficult. I had to go into Revit City, and Revit City is where you can download other people's materials that they have made, and you can put it in your software. So I added the chimney from there. For this project, I decided to print out 2 sheets, and that was again the floor plan and the elevations. I used the same elevations as I did in my last project, which was wrong because in this project my roof ended up being higher than my last project, which caused my roof to keep intercepting my walls, and I had to keep offsetting it. So next time I need to pay more attention on how high my walls are going to be and how high I need to actually make my different elevations. Once I was done with all that, after I was done remaking the floor plan of Revit, I began working on the 3D model, and I glued down my floor plan and started working on my walls, which I would cut out the walls and then cut out the windows and the doors to them. After I was done with all the cutting, I wanted to design them. So for the exterior part of my walls, I did paneling, which would be laying their cardstock. And then for the interior, I decided to just put one layer of cardstock and make it look like paint. After I was done working with all my walls, I began to glue them down. And honestly, the walls, it took me the most time out of my project because I had to cut them, cut out the windows, design them. But it was honestly the most fun part. I really liked designing the whole interior and exterior part of my walls. And but maybe next time, I would try to use a different material or a different way to use the cardstock for my exterior walls, because layering the cardstock made my walls turn out really, really thick. After I was done with all that, I was able to do the roof, and I cut out the main parts of my roof right like this, and then I had to cut out an extension for the back door, and then cut out a hole for the chimney right over here. I then glued all the roof together and was able to glue shingles onto it, and I glued the roof together, but not to my house because I wanted it to be removable. And the shingles, you know, they were working at first, but as time went on, they actually started coming off. So maybe next time I try to use a different material for my shingles. And now I'm able to see my project as a house just like this, with the roof and the chimney and everything. Or I could take the roof and take the chimney out and just see the interior side of my house. Overall, I really loved this project. I really loved working with the 3D model. I thought it was very fun. And overall, it was really nice to do this project. The only difficult part would probably be working with the foam board, because it's just a really difficult material. As we could see, I did my wall once and had to do it again. You know, it was very hard to cut into it, but as time went on, I was able to do it correctly. And overall for the semester, I really love both my projects, and I can't wait for second semester.